Hello and welcome back. In the last video, we discussed the fundamental steps in research. That's identification of a research problem. I believe that you must have obtained sufficient mastery in formulating an actionable research problem from a decision dilemma or managerial problem. Now, we move on to another important component of research, that's hypothesis. At the end of this video, you will be able to translate research questions into research hypotheses depending on nature of inquiry. Well, can you recollect the term hypothesis that we discussed in previous video? The word hypothesis is a combination of two words such as hypo and thesis. Then hypothesis literally means less than a reality. It's a knowledgeable guess about the reality which is testable using some well-calibrated tools. Hypothesis is obtained through preliminary inquiry or pilot study. It indicates a probable direction of the results on completion of the study. Then, is it necessary to have a hypothesis for every research? I mean, is hypothesis indispensable in research? Not at all. It's only when the researcher wants to prove or disprove some a priori statement. For example, it's arguable to state that best in industry pay and perks will ensure loyalty towards the company and contain turnover intention. Such conjectural statements should be tested empirically using valid statistical tools. You may wonder that whether there is any criterion to formulate a hypothesis. Yes, indeed. Let's discuss the criteria to construct hypothesis. It must be formulated in simple, clear, and declarative form. Don't forget that a hypothesis is an a priori statement. For example, if we want to study the fuel efficiency of two vehicles, the hypothesis can be fuel efficiency of vehicle A is better than that of B. Alternatively, there is no significant difference in the fuel efficiency between vehicle A and vehicle B. The second attribute of a hypothesis is that it must be measurable and quantifiable. A measurable hypothesis explicitly shows the relationship between variables considered in the study with the direction of relationship. Yet another important attribute of hypothesis is that it must be a conjectural statement based on the existing literature and not based on the gut feeling of the researcher. A hypothesis can be either descriptive or relational. A descriptive hypothesis simply indicates the trend, magnitude, or behavior of a population under study. For example, TV advertisement has 60 to 60% of recall rate. A relational hypothesis states the expected relationship between two variables and sometimes with its direction of relationship. For example, the higher the frequency of advertisement, the more will be the recall rate. Let's summarize what we learned in this video. We discussed the meaning of hypothesis. Hypothesis is formulated in simple, clear, and declarative forms. It is not indispensable for all types of research. A hypothesis can either be descriptive or relational.